All right, let's be honest. Who hasn't daydreamed about winning the lottery?
I know I have.
Yeah, picturing those winning numbers, that huge check. Suddenly life's worries just melt away.
Oh, yeah. Financial freedom, travel the world, all the things you've ever wanted.
It's a powerful fantasy, right? But here's the thing. While we all fantasize about winning, how many of us actually plan for what comes next?
It's funny, isn't it? Everyone plays hoping to win, but very few actually think about that next chapter. What happens after you hit the jackpot?
That's what we're diving into today.
Absolutely, because winning is one thing. Managing that windfall, well, that's a whole other ballgame.
It's a new reality with its own unique set of challenges, and frankly, a whole lot of potential dangers lurking around the corner.
Oh, there are a lot of people out there who would love to separate you from your newfound fortune, that's for sure. And sometimes, let's be honest, you might even be your own worst enemy.
Yeah, those impulsive decisions can really come back to bite you. So consider this your essential guide, your crash course in navigating this uncharted territory.
We're pulling key insights from the Lotto Secret to give you a practical, real-world roadmap.
Think of it as your secret weapon, your playbook for protecting and managing your winnings wisely.
Because, let's face it, winning the lottery is a life-altering event.
It's a moment of pure luck, but what follows requires careful planning, smart decisions, and a good dose of level-headedness.
So let's jump right in. What are those crucial first steps every lottery winner needs to take?
Well, according to the Lotto Secret, the very first thing you should do after you realize you've won is absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Stay silent, keep it under wraps, don't shout it from the rooftops.
That's so counterintuitive. You'd think you'd want to celebrate, tell everyone.
Exactly. But that's where a lot of people go wrong. The Lotto Secret emphasizes the paramount importance of discretion in those initial hours and days.
So what's the rationale behind that?
It's all about protecting yourself, really. Think about it. Suddenly, you're perceived differently. You're the person with a big pile of cash.
Right, a target, almost.
Exactly. And that can attract a lot of unwanted attention. Unsolicited advice, people coming out of the woodwork asking for money.
Not to mention potential scams and schemes designed to prey on your newfound wealth.
The book warns that premature announcements can create a tidal wave of attention, much of it negative.
So what's the advice? Just tell your closest family and that's it.
Even then, be cautious. The book suggests carefully considering who in your inner circle really needs to know and when. Limit the spread of information as much as possible. Stay off social media. Avoid casual conversations about your win. The fewer people who know, the better.
It's about managing that initial blast radius, containing the news before it spirals out of control.
Precisely. Now, once you've taken a moment to breathe and let the reality sink in, the Lotto Secret says your next crucial step is to seek qualified legal counsel immediately.
Makes sense. You're going to need a lawyer to navigate all the legal complexities that come with a huge financial windfall.
Absolutely. And the book stresses that this is not a DIY situation. Find an attorney experienced in handling lottery winnings and related financial matters. They can help you understand your rights, obligations, and the specific laws in your jurisdiction.
Because I imagine those laws can vary quite a bit from place to place.
They absolutely do. And the Lotto Secret dives into those variations, particularly regarding anonymity.
Anonymity, so you might not have to go public with your win.
In some places, yes, but it depends entirely on where you live and where you won the lottery. Your attorney can advise you on whether maintaining your anonymity is even an option and guide you through the process if it is.
That anonymity piece sounds crucial, especially when we talked about unwanted attention and potential exploitation.
Right. And the book goes a step further, suggesting a strategy called establishing a blind trust.
A blind trust, so what's that about?
Essentially, it's a legal arrangement where a trustee manages your assets without disclosing your identity as the winner.
So you could claim the prize anonymously through this trust.
Exactly. The trustee interacts with the lottery officials, handles the financial transactions, and shields you from public scrutiny.
Wow, that adds a whole layer of protection and privacy. It's like a firewall between you and the outside world.
It can be incredibly valuable, especially if you're concerned about safety, harassment, or just wanting to maintain a low profile.
Okay, so silence, get a lawyer, explore a blind trust. What else is high on the priority list for a new lottery winner?
Taxes.
Oh yeah, can't forget about Uncle Sam. Or, well, the tax authorities, wherever you happen to be.
Right. No matter where you win, taxes are an unavoidable reality, and the Lotto Secret is very upfront about that.
So what's the advice there? Start setting aside a big chunk of your winnings for the tax man.
It's more nuanced than that. The book emphasizes the importance of consulting a tax professional early on. Ideally, someone specializing in windfall taxes, because those can be a bit different from your regular income taxes.
Makes sense. You want someone who understands the ins and outs of how these large, sudden sums of money are taxed.
Exactly. And they can help you calculate your tax liability, explore potential deductions or credits, and ultimately minimize your tax burden legally and responsibly.
Because I imagine there are different strategies and approaches depending on your situation.
There absolutely are. The Lotto Secret mentions things like tax-efficient legal structures, potentially using trusts or other entities to manage your winnings, and potentially reduce future estate taxes.
Oh, right. Thinking ahead to estate planning and inheritance. That's smart.
It's all part of a holistic approach to managing this newfound wealth. And remember, those tax laws and strategies can change drastically depending on where you live, even from state to state. So professional advice is crucial.
Now, what if you weren't the only one holding that golden ticket? What about those group wins, lottery pools and things like that?
The Lotto Secret dedicates a whole section to that very scenario.
Makes sense. Sharing a big win sounds great in theory, but I can imagine things getting messy if it's not handled carefully.
It absolutely can. And sadly, history is full of stories about lottery pool wins turning sour.
Disputes, legal battles, friendships ruined.
Exactly. And that's why the Lotto Secret is so adamant about formalizing any agreements among all the participants in a winning group from the very beginning.
So put it all in writing.
Exactly. A legally binding contract that clearly outlines the division of winnings, everyone's responsibilities, and a process for resolving any disputes.
So if things do go south, there's at least a roadmap for how to handle it.
Precisely. And the book even suggests exploring legal structures like partnerships or LLCs to manage the winnings collectively.
So it's almost like creating a mini company just for the lottery winnings.
In a way, yes, it can streamline distribution, offer potential tax advantages, and provide some liability protection for all involved.
Okay, so we've covered legal advice, taxes, and the complexities of group wins. Is there anything else that falls under those crucial first steps?
Well, this might not be the first thing that comes to mind, but the Lotto Secret brings up the importance of considering the potential impact on your personal relationships.
Impact on relationships. How so?
Well, think about it. A sudden influx of wealth can shift dynamics, change perceptions, even create tension within families and friendships.
I can see that. People might come to you with requests, expectations.
Exactly. And the book specifically mentions marital or relationship implications.
Oh, right. Like if you're married, how does that affect things?
In many jurisdictions, lottery winnings acquired during a marriage are considered joint assets. So, in the event of a divorce, those winnings would be subject to division.
So even if you bought the ticket yourself?
The law often sees it as shared property. The Lotto Secret recommends reviewing any existing prenuptial agreements or even considering a postnuptial agreement to clarify how the winnings would be handled.
So you can proactively address potential conflict down the line.
Exactly. And it's not just about married couples. The book points out that unmarried partners who cohabitate might also have legal claims to a portion of the winnings, depending on the laws in your area, of course. So it's crucial to have those potentially uncomfortable but necessary conversations early on to avoid misunderstandings and legal battles later.
So get everything out in the open. Be upfront about how this affects everyone involved.
Transparency and clear communication are key. Now, once you've started to wrap your head around the legal and relationship aspects, many winners naturally start thinking about sharing their good fortune.
Gifting to family and friends, charitable donations, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. The Lotto Secret dives into those philanthropic impulses and offers some valuable advice for making those decisions wisely.
What kind of advice?
Well, first and foremost, they emphasize that even with the best intentions, gifting and philanthropy require a strategic approach.
So don't just start writing checks willy-nilly.
Right. The book specifically mentions gift taxes, which can apply when you give away large sums of money.
Oh, right. I've heard about those.
They vary from country to country, so consulting with a tax advisor before making any significant gifts is crucial.
To avoid any unpleasant surprises come tax time.
Exactly. Now, the book offers an interesting alternative to outright cash gifts.
What's that?
Consider paying off debts for loved ones instead.
Oh, that's a good idea. It's like a gift that directly addresses a financial burden.
It's a very tangible way to help. It might even have fewer immediate tax implications than a large cash gift.
Okay, that's a smart strategy. Now, what about donating to charities?
The Lotto Secret strongly encourages charitable giving, but they emphasize doing your homework.
Vetting the organizations, making sure your money's going to a good cause.
Precisely. Research their track record, understand their mission, make sure they align with your values. And remember, charitable donations often come with tax benefits, so that's something else to consider.
Now, if you're talking about really substantial gifts, the book mentions something called non-disclosure agreements, or NDAs.
Right, those can be used to maintain some level of privacy around your giving.
So if you don't want your name plastered all over the donor wall.
An NDA can help with that. Now, while you're sorting out those legal, relationship, and philanthropic aspects, the Lotto Secret reminds us to take care of the basics. Securing your winnings and establishing immediate financial security.
Oh, right. Back to the foundation.
They advise moving your winnings into a safe and easily accessible account while you develop a long-term plan.
So not just stuffing it under the mattress.
Definitely not. Think a reputable bank, a high-yield savings account, something that's FDIC insured and readily available if you need it.
But also earning some interest while it sits there.
Right. And speaking of financial security, they emphasize setting aside a sizable emergency fund.
Always good advice, but especially crucial when you've suddenly got a large sum of money.
Absolutely. It provides a buffer against unexpected expenses,
Mm.
protects you from making impulsive decisions, and just gives you that peace of mind.
So unexpected medical bills, car repairs, whatever life throws at you, you're covered.
Exactly. And a often overlooked but incredibly valuable step, paying off any existing high-interest debt.
Credit cards, loans, things like that.
It can significantly reduce your financial stress, improve your credit score, and free up more of your income for other things.
That's a huge weight off your shoulders right there.
Now, beyond those immediate steps, the Lotto Secret reminds us that winning the lottery is not just about financial management, it's also about managing your emotional well-being.
That's so important. Suddenly having this much money can be a huge psychological adjustment.
Absolutely. The book dedicates a section to preparing for the psychological and social changes that often come with sudden wealth.
So what kind of changes are we talking about?
Well, it could be anything from increased stress and anxiety to feeling overwhelmed by decisions, even a sense of isolation.
Wow, not what you'd expect when you think of winning the lottery.
It's easy to focus on the positive aspects, but the reality is this kind of life-altering event can bring about unexpected challenges, and the book suggests being prepared for those.
So what's the advice there?
They recommend considering therapy or counseling to help process those emotions and develop coping mechanisms.
Talking it out, having someone to guide you through those changes.
Exactly. And they also stress the importance of setting boundaries with friends and family.
Oh yeah, those requests for money, the pressure, it can be overwhelming.
It's about protecting your mental and emotional well-being. And finally, they advise against making any drastic lifestyle changes without a plan.
So don't quit your job, buy a mansion and a yacht all in the first week.
Right. Take your time, let things settle, develop a strategy, and make those big decisions from a place of calm and thoughtful consideration. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That's all we ask for our efforts. Now, we've covered those crucial first steps, those immediate actions to take after a lottery win. But as the Lotto Secret makes clear, that's really just the beginning. What comes next is a deeper dive into the longer-term implications of managing your newfound wealth.
That's where things get really interesting and where careful planning becomes absolutely essential.
Exactly. So step 2, according to the Lotto Secret, is all about determining the full scope of the financial and legal ramifications of your win. It's about laying the groundwork for responsible and sustainable wealth management.
Okay, so we're moving from those initial reactions and immediate actions to a more strategic, long-term view.
Precisely. And the book kicks this phase off by recommending a comprehensive financial assessment.
A financial assessment, what's involved in that?
It's about taking stock of your entire financial situation, taking a detailed inventory of your assets, liabilities, income, and expenses.
So basically figuring out where you stand financially before the win even factors in.
Exactly. It's about establishing a clear baseline. And once you've got that snapshot, the Lotto Secret says the next step is to define your financial goals.
Goals, huh? So what do you want to achieve with this money?
It's about thinking beyond just immediate needs and wants. What are your long-term aspirations? Do you want to be financially independent, secure your retirement, leave a legacy for your family?
Those are big picture goals.
They are. And having those goals in mind will guide your decisions moving forward. It helps you create a roadmap for how you want to use and manage your winnings.
So it's not just about spending, it's about investing and planning for the future.
Absolutely. And part of that planning, according to the Lotto Secret, is developing a detailed budget,
A budget, even though you've suddenly got millions.
especially because you've suddenly got millions. A budget helps you track your spending, ensures you're not overspending, and keeps you aligned with those long-term goals.
So it's about being intentional with your money, even with a windfall.
Precisely. Now, alongside that financial planning, the legal aspects we touched on earlier become even more important in this phase.
Right. Consulting with an attorney, understanding the laws surrounding your win.
Exactly. The Lotto Secret emphasizes that this legal guidance should be ongoing. It's not just a one-time thing.
So you're building a relationship with your attorney, getting advice as you navigate this new terrain.
Absolutely. And those legal considerations can encompass a wide range of topics.
Like what?
Well, as your financial situation evolves, so do the legal implications. It might involve protecting your assets through trusts or LLCs.
Right? We talked about those earlier. Shielding your wealth from potential lawsuits or creditors.
It's about building layers of legal and financial protection. And the Lotto Secret also reminds you to keep those essential documents updated.
Like your will, power of attorney, things like that.
Exactly. Your financial situation has changed drastically, so your legal documents need to reflect that.
And of course, let's not forget about the ever-present topic of taxes.
The Lotto Secret dedicates a significant portion of this phase to developing a robust tax strategy.
Because it's not just about that initial tax bill, right?
No, it's about ongoing tax planning, understanding how your investments are taxed, how potential income from those investments is taxed, even thinking ahead to estate taxes.
So it's a long-term game, planning for tax efficiency year after year.
Absolutely. And the book strongly recommends working with a tax professional who specializes in windfall situations, someone who can guide you through those complexities and help you minimize your tax burden legally.
Now, speaking of the long term, the Lotto Secret also brings up estate planning.
Right. Thinking about what happens to your wealth after you're gone.
It's not always the most pleasant topic to think about, but it's crucial.
It is. And the book emphasizes that a well-structured estate plan can ensure your wishes are carried out, protect your assets, and potentially minimize taxes for your beneficiaries.
So what are the key elements of that?
A comprehensive will is paramount, of course. It dictates how your assets are distributed.
And they mentioned trusts earlier, right?
Trusts can play a significant role in estate planning. They can offer tax advantages, protect assets for future generations, and even control how and when those assets are distributed.
So you can set up a trust that provides for your children's education, for example.
Exactly. And a simple but often overlooked step,
Mm.
making sure the beneficiaries on your financial accounts and insurance policies are up to date.
Makes sense. After a major life change like winning the lottery, you want to make sure everything aligns with your current wishes.
Absolutely. And finally, the Lotto Secret advises thinking about potential inheritance taxes that your heirs might face.
Because those can be substantial depending on where you live.
They can, and minimizing those taxes through careful planning can preserve more of your wealth for your loved ones.
Now, for a lot of lottery winners, one of the first things they want to do is tackle their debt.
Understandably so. The Lotto Secret offers practical advice on how to address those financial obligations strategically.
What's the approach? Just pay everything off immediately.
Not necessarily. It depends on the type of debt and the interest rates.
So prioritize the high-interest debt first.
Exactly. Credit cards, payday loans, anything with a hefty interest rate should be at the top of the list.
Because those are the ones costing you the most money over time.
Right. And once those are tackled, the book suggests considering early mortgage payoff or even paying off car loans.
So you're essentially buying yourself freedom from those monthly payments.
It's a powerful feeling, and it frees up more of your income for other things. Now, for those with more complex debt situations, the Lotto Secret even mentions the possibility of negotiating settlements with creditors.
So potentially paying off debts for less than the full amount owed.
In certain cases, yes. It's something to discuss with your financial advisor and attorney to see if it's a viable option.
Okay, so we've tackled debt. What's next on this long-term journey?
Investing. Making that money work for you and grow over time.
This is where the real wealth building comes in.
Absolutely. And the Lotto Secret is very clear on this point. Seek professional guidance from a qualified financial advisor.
Someone with experience in managing large sums of money, ideally someone who's worked with lottery winners before.
Exactly. You want someone who understands the unique challenges and opportunities that come with sudden wealth.
So what kind of investment strategies are we talking about?
Well, diversification is key. It's about spreading your investments across various asset classes to manage risk.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket, as they say.
Exactly. The book mentions stocks, bonds, real estate, and potentially other alternative investments.
So a mix of things, each with their own level of risk and potential return.
Right. And it's important to remember that investments are not a set it and forget it thing.
You need to monitor them, adjust as needed, and make sure your portfolio aligns with your goals and risk tolerance.
Absolutely. Regular review and adjustment are essential. And speaking of risk, the Lotto Secret is very upfront about the importance of understanding and managing risk in your investment portfolio.
Makes sense. You don't want to take unnecessary risks and potentially lose a significant portion of your winnings.
Right. And the book provides valuable advice for navigating those risks, such as conducting thorough due diligence before making any investments, understanding the fees associated with different investment products, and diversifying across various asset classes to spread out the risk.
Now, along with investing, the Lotto Secret also talks about protecting your wealth from other potential threats.
What kind of threats?
Well, they discuss things like lawsuits, creditors, even scams specifically targeted at lottery winners.
It's an unfortunate reality that when you have a lot of money, you become a target.
And the book offers strategies for protecting yourself, right?
They do. They recommend considering things like liability insurance, umbrella policies, and even identity theft protection.
So you're building a safety net around your finances.
It's all about proactive protection. They also stress the importance of being cautious about unsolicited investment offers or schemes that might come your way.
If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Exactly. And they recommend doing your own research, seeking independent advice, and never feeling pressure to make a quick decision.
Okay, so we've covered investing and protecting your wealth. What else falls under this long-term planning phase?
Well, for those who are charitably inclined, the Lotto Secret circles back to the topic of philanthropy.
Planning for your giving, making those donations impactful.
Exactly. They reiterate the importance of carefully researching charities, making sure they align with your values, and ensuring they have a proven track record of success.
So it's about being strategic with your giving, making sure your money is making a difference.
Absolutely. And they also mention different ways to structure your giving, such as establishing a donor-advised fund or even creating a private foundation.
Those options offer more control and flexibility over how your charitable dollars are used.
They do, and they can provide significant tax benefits as well. Now, alongside all this financial planning, the Lotto Secret also addresses the personal and social aspects of managing newfound wealth.
Right, because it's not just about the money, it's about how your life changes as a result.
Exactly. And the book offers valuable advice for navigating those changes successfully. They talk about setting boundaries with friends and family.
Oh yeah, we touched on that earlier. It's about managing expectations and protecting your emotional well-being.
They also reiterate the importance of seeking professional support for the psychological and emotional challenges that can arise.
Having a therapist or counselor to help you process those feelings and adjust to this new reality.
It can be incredibly beneficial. And finally, they emphasize the importance of maintaining a balanced lifestyle.
So don't let the money consume you. Don't lose sight of the things that truly matter in life.
It's about enjoying your newfound wealth, but also prioritizing your health, relationships, and overall well-being.
Now, we've covered a lot of ground here, from those initial steps to the long-term planning and everything in between. What's the biggest takeaway from the Lotto Secret when it comes to managing this kind of life-altering windfall?
I think the overarching theme is the importance of careful planning and informed decision-making. It's about seeking professional guidance, taking a holistic approach, and recognizing that winning the lottery is not just a financial event, it's a life event.
It affects every aspect of your life, and it requires careful navigation to ensure a positive and fulfilling outcome.
Absolutely. And the book leaves us with a final thought to ponder. Now that you've had a glimpse into the complexities of managing sudden wealth, take a moment to consider this. If you were to win the lottery, what personal values and long-term vision would guide your decisions?
It's a powerful question that challenges you to look beyond the immediate excitement and really think about what truly matters in the grand scheme of things.
And on that note, we wrap up our deep dive into the Lotto Secret.
Remember, folks, winning the lottery is just the beginning. What you do next determines whether it becomes a blessing or a burden. So, plan wisely, seek expert advice, and most importantly, stay grounded.
Thanks for listening.